Like, you're actually cringy. I didn't love that at all. Like,
I don't know if I care.
so good. Like, there are other books I've read that are spicier than this. I was warned.
I am obsessed with both of these people, right? They just think that they're so freaking smart.
She's putting me to sleep.
And so smug. And you know what? It's getting on my nerves.
Painfully trying to get through it at that point. And I'm a little nervous, honestly. Hello, my fellow book lovers, and welcome back to another video. This week's video is going to be another how much I realistically read in a week with a full-time job, because that is how I film every single video, essentially, because I only film videos basically outside of my normal full-time job. So today is obviously Monday when I'm starting this video, and I always go Monday to Sunday when I film these types of videos. So yesterday I actually ended up starting Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I got, let's see, how many pages did I get in? I actually got 66 pages in, which is not bad since I was reading and then also watching a TV show at the same time. So I actually did pretty good. I did pretty good. But anyways, like I said, basically this is just going to be how much I realistically read in a week with a full-time job. It is now, what time? 7:30. I got home from work actually a little while ago. I worked today from like 8:30 to 4:30, and then I went immediately to the gym afterwards. And then obviously I was at the gym for like an hour, and then after the gym, I ate dinner, watched an episode of Modern Family with Michael, and then here we are. That is what my day has looked like. So basically, I'm just going to keep on reading. I'm gonna read for a little bit right now, and then I'm just gonna go like take a shower and get ready for bed. It's just like too early for me to want to go get ready for bed. When I get ready for bed, it's like I have to do the whole 9 yards of like showering, doing the whole thing. Like doing it too early just messes me up. Okay, it just messes me up and I can't do it. So we're just gonna be sitting and reading for a little bit, and then I'll go get ready for bed. But yeah, I'm gonna obviously keep track with you and see how many pages I've read throughout the week. It's gonna be super chill. Okay, it's gonna be super chill. Oh, and maybe I should just like tell you about this book for a little bit as well. I understand what people say about this book, why they don't like it. I'm getting that, but also I'm not like hating it. Like, I'm like kind of intrigued to see where it goes because of like obviously the contents of like what this book is. Like, this is definitely in her erotica categorization of books. I haven't gotten to that at all yet, and I'm a little nervous, honestly. But at least I was warned, okay? When it's like I'm not warned, that's when it like throws me for a loop. I was warned. That helps me out. But yeah, I do understand why people like don't like it, because basically Scarlett ends up being with this guy that's on the swim team, and Scarlett is a competitive diver as well. So like they're both like in the same circles. The whole thing is like Lucas, who is the love interest, used to date her team captain. So like she's good friends with the girl that he used to date. And a lot of people like aren't like really saying it, but like they break up obviously, but it's like a really amicable, I don't know how you say that word. A very like neutral breakup. Like they're both like yeah, this isn't working, like we're gonna break up. And so far all it's like consisted of is like talking about Penelope, like Pen is what they call her, like both like constantly, like she keeps getting brought up. Like I totally get it. So I'm waiting to see kind of like throughout the entirety of the book if like she just keeps getting brought up, even though like there's actually no reason. Like up until this point, like it kind of makes sense. Like okay, like she's like really like building up the story and like figuring out how she's gonna like play out this story for them to kind of be together and whatnot. And it's just like getting over this little hump, right, of being like, okay, like we are acknowledging that they were together, that Penelope and Scarlett are friends, but Penelope is like okay with the whole thing, right? And that because Penelope and Lucas broke up, and it was very neutral. They were both like, nope, neither of us are happy, want the best for the other, like no hard feelings, like kind of thing. So getting to this point, and I'm like intrigued to see like if it is like so much just like talking about her the entire time and not really like Scarlett and Lucas, you know what I mean? Like that's what I've heard a lot of. So I guess I'm just gonna stop yapping and actually read. Hey you guys, it's Tuesday now. I have to get ready for work soon, but I wanted to update you guys on Deep End a little bit before I have to do that because I won't be get back home till late tonight and I am gonna read tonight. So I wanted to update you while it was still light out because I started this video yesterday, I think, and lighting was trash because it was later in the day. Anyways, let me go to my notes app because let's see how much I read, because I'm doing how much I read in a week. Let's see, how much did I read yesterday? So I started on page 66 and then I got to page 182. So I read 116 pages of Deep End yesterday. Honestly, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good like chunk of book I read because this book is, hang on. I need to look at you. I'm doing two different things. This book is like pretty fast paced, I would say. And I'm not gonna lie, this book has more plot in it than I thought there was going to be. Like I really went into this book thinking it was just gonna be purely like smut, like the entire way through, which was something that like really kind of like intimidated me just because I was like, I'm not like a fan of just smut, you know? I do like a plot. I do like a connection between the characters. And this actually has way more plot than I thought. There's a lot more going on in this than just like what's going on between the two main characters. I'm enjoying it so far. Like I do like both of the characters a good amount so far, honestly. Like I don't mind, like I like them both. My only like issue, or I guess in qualm with the book, and I think I said this last night, everything's about Penelope. Penelope is mentioned constantly and I'm like, why are we still bringing her up? She actually doesn't care. She actually is so okay with the two main characters because, spoiler, okay, as if I don't know if any of you guys are going to be really reading this book because it's not on the back of it, but it's a big part that you find out in the beginning. Penelope used to date Lucas, who is the main guy in this book, right? Penelope was the one who even said to both of them, was like, oh my God, I think you guys actually would be great together. Like you guys should try it. You know, like, and it's so weird, and it is kind of weird for the fact that Penelope and Lucas dated for 6 years. She's just like, okay with Scarlett and Lucas being together in like a very, like an intimate way. Like they're not dating, but they're together and she's just okay with it. I mean, she's also now off living her best life because she's like, no, I'm having a grand old time and breaking up with him was the best thing for me to do. And she's just like, yeah, like I'm okay. Like I think it's weird that she's such good friends with Scarlett and she's so okay with it, but also like then that kind of just to me has like meaning that like she just like wasn't in love with him the way that she thought she was maybe, and the only reason they were together for so long is because they were together and it was easy and they enjoyed, like they were friends, like, and they're still friends, you know, like their relationship was just very easy in that way, and like that's probably why the only reason they were still together, you know what I mean? Like anyways, everything is about Penelope and I actually am like, we need to stop because it doesn't need to be. Like there's no reason for it to be like that. Anyways, but I'm enjoying it, okay? I'm enjoying it. I don't know what else to say because anything else I say, because I feel like spoiled enough for you, okay? If you were on the fence, I've spoiled enough for you, I think. But I mean, like you find out that information pretty early on in the book that anyways, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I think I'm actually probably going to finish this book like pretty quickly. Like I definitely won't finish it tonight or whatever, but I'll definitely probably finish it tomorrow. Like I will probably get another good chunk of the way through this tonight, whatever, because I'm actually enjoying it. Like I am very much enjoying where I'm at in the book and like wanting to keep reading. Like I don't want to like stop reading, if that makes sense. Like last night I was tempted to keep going, but I was like, oh, it's 11:30. I kind of need to go to bed. You know what I mean? Like I very much wanted to keep going. I don't have that much time before work. I do kind of need to get everything all together, but I do think that maybe I'll read like a few pages or like maybe a chapter or two, depending on how fast I can go before I go to work. Anyway, that's my update for Deep End. I'm enjoying it, but this is definitely not everybody's cup of tea, okay? Let me just say before I go, multiple terms I've had to look up, okay? If you do not like spice, or if you do not know, you have an innocent brain, you are gonna have to look up stuff, okay? Because let me tell you, I have a very innocent brain, I guess. Didn't think I did. Turns out I do, because some of the things that were mentioned in here, I said, what is that? I said, what's that? So you will have to do your own research. Good afternoon, you guys. It is officially Wednesday, and I'm coming to update you on last night's reading and then also what I've kind of read today. So yesterday, I unfortunately did not get as far or more into this book as I would like to have. Like, I ended up only reading 60 pages yesterday, which is really sad because I wanted to read more. But literally, of course, like the one night I was like closing where I work, and then my mom called me when I got home, and it was just like, I literally like just my time for reading was just like not there. You know what I mean? Like, so I only ended up getting 60 pages into this book. I'm still enjoying it. Like, I think it's very, very good. It's actually a lot more tame than I thought. Like, I really thought that I was gonna be like eyes popping out of my head with the stuff that was going on. But for a book that's technically in the erotica genre, I feel like there's only been 3-4 scenes so far, which maybe my perception or my expectation of it was that like it was gonna like start very quickly and then just continue throughout, like literally just like every other chapter type of thing, you know what I mean? And I just wanna say, I feel like if you guys have read Twisted Lies or Twisted Hate, that book so far has already had more spice than this book as a whole. I don't know. Like, this book, like, I'm on chapter 38. I'm 50% of the way through the book, like a little bit more than 50% of the way. And I really thought at this point, not that I'm like looking for, but I just think my expectation was that this was gonna be so out there and outlandish and like crazy with all of the spice because it's technically like her erotica. You know what I mean? That I was just like, that I was just so lost and confused, you know, like that it just really tripped me up. Like, it really did. Yeah, like this is not as spicy as I really thought it was going to be. Maybe as the book goes on, it'll be spicy, or more spicy than it is. But honestly, like the main character Scarlett, she's kind of really diving more in, no pun intended, diving more into like the issue that she's having, like mentally. Like, she has a mental block going on right now with diving because she had a really bad accident. So she's kind of like has PTSD from this, and she has a block when it comes to doing a certain type of dive, right? So she's like really talking about that a lot and like going more in depth with that than I really anticipated that this book was gonna go. Like I said, I did not think this book was really gonna have a plot. It does. Actually, like, she's talking about like all this stuff, and then she's also really trying to like navigate her feelings for Lucas, because both of them were like, no, like it can be just sex and like that's fine. But you can tell is the type of person, the way that Allie Hazelwood is like writing this girl and like describing her, is that she can form an emotional connection with someone or feels closest to them, obviously during intimate times, and like that's how she gets more comfortable being with someone in just a regular way. Or at least that's what I'm getting from it. That's what I'm getting from it on the way that she's been writing the character. Anyway, that's it for this book so far. I will say, I did start another book, but I read it, or I didn't read it. I was listening to it. After work today, I ended up doing like some deep stretching, and I love to listen to an audiobook when I'm doing that. I was listening to The Wife Between Us, which I had never read anything by this author before. I actually don't even know what this is about. So far though, like what I know is that there is like some weird love triangle going on right now. Like that's really it. You know, the book basically starts off like the ex-wife finds out that her ex-husband is now getting married after like basically like a very short time period where she feels like she's just being replaced by a younger model of her. Like, that's all I've gotten so far. So like I don't know much. Like the ex-wife is really like grieving and trying to like deal with all this stuff, and then the new fiance girl honestly kind of seems like in the dark, like not really knowing anything about like the ex-wife, and then like all like anything that her, you know, fiance has been telling her, Richard, who is the ex-husband, obviously, you know what I mean? Like, so like you're not getting much of anything right now, and I don't know anything. So I guess we'll see, because the back of the book says that twisted and deliciously chilling, The Wife Between Us definitely explores the hidden complexities of marriage and the dangerous truths we ignore in the name of love. I love listening to thrillers, and the only reason I picked this one was because I knew it was on my TBR and it just like popped up on my Spotify to like listen to. And like I said, I love listening to audiobooks. So yeah, anyways, I got 45 pages into this one today. And then, like I said, I read 60 pages of this. So, but what I'm actually gonna do is, and I know, hear me out. I am gonna go to the pool. I am gonna go to the pool and read this book. I feel like that's a really brave choice for me to do, because if anybody knows about books probably knows what this is. they're gonna be like, she's really reading that by the pool. That's crazy. But like I said, it's really not, it's way more tame than I thought it was. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, when it's happening, but way more tame. Like, I really thought I was gonna be like my innocent brain, you know what I mean, was gonna be, no, that's really not happening, so. Alright, you guys, it is Thursday morning now and I don't have to be to work till this afternoon. I was able to read a little bit before I go to the gym. So I ended up finishing Deep End this morning, as you guys saw. Overall, like I had said earlier in this video, this book was so much tamer than what I thought this was gonna be. This was just not at all what I expected. You know what I mean? But to say I enjoyed it, you know, I did. I did actually really enjoy this book. Like, there was so much more to this than obviously like the spice. And I feel like, granted, she has said that this is a bit more of like the erotica, I think. I think she said that, or like that's what people kept saying. And I'm like, I just like don't feel like that's true. Like, there are other books I've read that are spicier than this. Like, and I'm not like a dark romance reader, so like I don't know what like dark romance like entails, but let me tell you, I 100% bet you it is more than what's in this. You know, like the only dark romance I have ever read is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I feel like that one was way more than what this was. And this is technically supposed to be like in that. Like, I don't know, I've also never read 50 Shades of Grey. But I feel like what everyone was saying was that this was gonna be that. Like, this was the vibes. And like, not that that's what I was like looking for, but like I just love Ali Hazelwood, so I wanted to read this. But that's just like not what this was. Okay, so I feel like everybody's really like kind of having misconceptions about this book. Like, or I guess like maybe this is just my opinion. Like, I think it was pretty tame compared to like what I was expecting. I think I was just like, my expectations were so high, not high, but like high in the sense of like the amount of spice that was going to be in this book, and I just like there wasn't that. And even the talk of like the kink and stuff like that, and like the, you know, the yeah, okay, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Saying it on the internet is just a weird thing though. So anyways, you know what I'm talking about. Like, wasn't even like graphic or bad. Like, it's spicy, but like I said, Twisted Hate from the Twisted series, I think, was spicier than this. Like, that book was 50% spice. Like, 50%. This, I would say, like, 25%, maybe. I feel like that's even pushing it. Because this book talked so much more about Scarlet and diving. And obviously, you know, Penelope had a lot more, like, depth to Scarlet as a character, as well as Lucas as a character. Not as much as Lucas, more with Scarlet. It really focused more on Scarlett's insecurity with herself and her diving, and really trying to like grow from that. Even though I really don't feel like she made that much progress in that aspect of it, like throughout the almost till the end of the book, she is still pretty insecure in like herself and like what she means to other people, as well as like her relationship with Lucas, as well as like her skill of diving. Like she feels like she's inadequate as a diver and stuff like that, and even inadequate in her like school. Like she knows that she's good at school, but more of like, oh, I'm not good enough to like get into this like med school type of thing. You know what I mean? Like dealing with a lot more of that and like her internal struggles with her relationship, as well as her relationship with diving. It dealt way more with that than actually Scarlett and Lucas. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, more than half the book, Scarlett and Lucas weren't even like together in a like literal sense. Like they were together in the like sense of like they were in this weird situationship, but like they weren't physically in the same space for a good portion of the book. So like I didn't love that at all. Like I was really expecting them to be together like the whole time, and like they just weren't. And like that in a romance book is just like not something I love. Like I'm just like, no, I want them to be together the whole time. It just, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it other than that, because I know I talked about it briefly throughout the video, so I don't want to go too much more into detail with it. But after finishing it, those are like my final thoughts. That this did not disappoint me in any way. Like that's not what I'm saying. It did not disappoint me. I did actually enjoy the book, but there were so many things that I was like, okay, but like why is it this way? And also why was everything about Penelope? Why was Penelope actually the main character of this book? That's what I'm saying. Why was Penelope the main character? And I towards the end like just couldn't. That's that. So yesterday actually I ended up reading 164 pages of Deep End, and then I ended up listening to 45 pages of The Wife Between Us, which I know I had mentioned. And then today, so far, I've read 34 pages of Deep End, which I obviously ended up finishing. And I actually don't know what I'm gonna read next, but I won't like pick that out until later, because I actually don't know what I'm feeling. Like I have not read a Kindle book in a while, but part of me again thinks I should just like keep reading off my physical TBR, since I have so many physical books that I need to read. Yeah, so I guess we'll see later. I'll let you know when I pick my next book. So good evening, you guys. I think I already talked today. This is Thursday still, and I've decided on my next read, which is The Brothers Hawthorne, a part of the Inheritance Games series. Obviously this is like the 4th book, but it's technically like in the universe, like it follows the 2 brothers from the trilogy, but like this is like after the fact, so but it's not a part of the original trilogy, if that makes sense. I figure, you know, give myself a little palate cleanser, a little change of pace with the young adult. I actually don't know anything about this, what's going on, what they're doing in this book at all, but it is on Kindle Unlimited too, so I'm gonna be able to read it on there instead of holding the physical book, which is nice because my hand has been getting tired. I'm gonna get carpal tunnel or something like that from the amount that I hold these books. But yeah, hopefully this will be a quick read, because the words in the book are pretty big. I mean, other than the fact that it's like, you know, 470 something pages, you know what I mean? But yeah, figure I'll give myself a little bit of a palate cleanser, start reading this, and then I'll probably then go into another book on my summer TBR, which is crazy.
When she took a good look at her life, Nellie
obviously, as you guys know, the next day, you saw me folding laundry while I was listening to my audiobook of The Wife Between Us, and I listened to, let's see, how many pages? 54 pages of that while I was doing laundry. And then last night, I ended up getting 55 pages, or according to my Kindle, 55 pages into The Brothers Hawthorne, chapter 12. Let's see if that's accurate in this book. Oh, yep, that is accurate in this as well. So it says that I'm 15% of the way through the book. The book is pretty chunky, so I'm gonna continue reading this. So far, I have no opinions and or thoughts on this book. Like, it's just kind of going on. Literally have no idea what the whole point is of it yet, but we'll see. It's meant to be a nice little palate cleanser for me. Honestly, we'll see if I even finish it. Because if I am not into it, I'm just not gonna finish it. I'm just gonna read a different book because, you know, I'm not gonna keep reading a book I don't want to read. But so far it's fine. Like, being back in this world is like kind of weird. Like, it's almost jarring because I'm like trying to remember all of the stuff that like happened in that trilogy, because I read that trilogy last summer. So I'm like trying to remember all the stuff that happened and went down, because this is just a continuation. Like, literally this happens like right after all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna continue reading on my Kindle, and I will let you know, I guess, how many pages I get in, or update you later tonight.
Good evening. I am back. I have been reading The Brothers Hawthorne, and let's see what I'm on chapter 27, which puts me at 28% into the book. But 27, puts me at 122 pages into the Hawthorne brothers, right? That's what it's called? The Brothers Hawthorne. There we go. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Okay. Like I said, 28% in the book, 128 pages into the book. Let's just say that, honestly, I don't know if I care. I actually don't know if I care of like what's going on, because like I still have no idea what the point of this book is. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm literally reading the back and I'm like trying to figure out what. I have no idea. No idea. I think. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do, because I'm just like not into it, just not interested, I'm gonna like soft DNF it for now, but like continue reading it in between other books. I think like when I finish a book, a lot of the time what I do usually is like, if I'm like filming a reading vlog, right, and I want to like start out like a new book on like a new day, like start fresh and stuff like that, but it's still like I have enough time to like read content like at night and stuff, I will just read another book that I have been reading kind of like in between other ones, just like as like little you know what I mean? It takes me longer to read that particular book, obviously, but like it's just like a nice little in between. So I think that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm going to like not soft DNF it. Well, actually, yes, soft DNF it. Continue reading it in between other books, because it's on Kindle Unlimited. I have the physical book too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can just read it whenever. This is a, you know, young adult, like kind of like mystery, and it's almost 500 pages. Tell me for what this is 500 pages for. I really feel like, as of even while I'm reading it, this could have been split up into probably 2 novellas and it would have been more bearable. Like, I don't understand why these just needed their own book. You know what I mean? Like honestly, for what? Like, actually, for what? No idea. And you know what is really getting me in these books? It's like they're you know, like young, like teenagers, or like, you know, late teens, about to be like 20s. You know, Jameson I think is 19, Avery's 19, Grayson I think is 20 or something like that. I think 20. I don't remember. They're just a bunch of rich know-it-alls. You know what I mean? Like, they just think that they're so freaking smart and so smug. And you know what? It's getting on my nerves. It really is just getting on my nerves. Like, they really think that they know everything. Like, the way that they're like the way that the inner thought and like monologue and stuff like that is, yeah, it's told in the third person. So like, just the way I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, you guys are just a bunch of prissy know-it-alls. You know what I mean? Like, because you think you're so freaking smart, and it's just annoying me. Okay, they're like, oh, I have money, so like I can kind of do whatever I want. Actually, no, you can't. Like, so it's just kind of annoying me just a bit. And I think another reason why I'm not super into it right now is because I am like dying to read some cowboy romances. I just am so in the mood for them. There's been a few actually that released today, but those are not the ones I'm gonna read. I'm gonna actually save those. Nothing else on my TBR seems to be calling my name, like on my physical TBR. Like, there's one, like the one Golden Summer by Carly Fortune maybe is, I've been really wanting to read a cowboy romance and I keep thinking about them. So So I think I'm gonna read one of my Kindle cowboy romances just to kind of jumpstart. Like I have a few saved for next week that I'm gonna read because I'm actually going away for the weekend for my birthday, which is really nice. And I'm not gonna bring any books with me because I do plan to like go to bookstores or like where I'm going, but I do plan to like bring my Kindle and stuff. So I'm gonna read a whole bunch of like Kindle cowboy romances or whatever while I'm there. I think what I'm gonna read is Indigo Ridge because the Edens series has been on my list to read for so long, and it's actually on my series to read in 2025 list. I have not yet started the series, and there's so many series on that list that I have to actually like read and start if I'm in the mood for them. I think I'm gonna start reading Indigo Ridge because this one is cowboy romance. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if I'm into it. Okay, I usually can push through, but honestly, like it was like trying to get through this right now was just like such a struggle. I was reading it and I was like, oh my god, when is this gonna end? When am I gonna get to the next? And like, why am I reading it if I'm doing that? You know what I mean? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna end up reading this in between other books, and I'm gonna start Indigo Ridge. So I will update you tomorrow on my page count.
Good afternoon. I stuttered. It's fine. Good afternoon. It is the next day. It's Saturday now, and I haven't read anything today so far. I've been actually just like working and stuff like that. This morning, I actually was able to watch 2 episodes of The Summer I Turned Pretty before like the new season comes out. I'm like rewatching the whole thing because I actually stopped watching it in the middle of season 2 because it just like got so cringy that I was like, I can't watch this, okay? I can't watch this. I'm here to update you. Thoroughly enjoying Indigo Ridge. Like literally like so good so far. Like I am very much enjoying this. This is following, what's their names? Okay, Winslow and Griffin. Winslow comes to town because she's the new chief of police, right? And she ends up having a one-night stand with one of the infamous Edens who like basically are one of the founders of the town, right? Obviously, Griffin Eden, he is a rancher. And so they end up having a one-night stand, and then the next day they run into each other. And then now there was a dead person found on the Eden's property that she is now obviously investigating. So now like their lives are overcrossing. There's a little bit of this mystery in there. And you find this all out within the first 2 chapters. Like, this is not a secret. Also, I'm pretty sure it would be on, like, the back of the book because it's very much a big part of the plot. But you guys, it's so good so far. I'm really enjoying it. Let's do a dive. How much did I end up reading on Friday? Okay, so I ended up reading 67 pages of the Brothers Hawthorne. I listened to 54 pages of The Wife Between Us, and then I ended up reading 77 pages of Indigo Ridge. I got a good chunk of the way into that book yesterday so far. Just last night, literally. So, like, honestly, good to me. I'm really glad that I actually stopped reading the Brothers Hawthorne and then started reading that, because that was literally like I was just painfully trying to get through it at that point because I just like was not interested. Like I really thought I was going to be into it, but then like just the way that they were acting, I don't even want to say acting, but it's just like the way that the characters are written. I just could not. I'm just like, no, please stop. Like, I need you not, okay? So I think it'll be a good, like, in-between, like, books to read. Very glad that I got this. I think, how many pages is this? I don't know. It takes place in Montana, okay? Also, like I said, cowboy romances. It's not really, like, technically, I'm 24% of the way in. Oh my god. Technically, not, like, cowboy romance, but small town, he's a rancher, she's a police officer, things like that. I don't know how many pages this book is. For some reason, my Kindle does not tell me anymore. Like, it's updated to do this thing now, and I don't know how to change it. I don't know what happened being like, oh, this pages. And I'm like, how did this change to this? And how do I change it back? I don't know what happened or how to fix it. So if anyone knows how to fix it, please let me know, because I would like to have it go back the way it was. But now it just like tells me the bar, how far I'm into the book. I'm having a good time with that. And yeah, that's basically it. I guess I'll just come back to you guys when I'm reading in a bit later, because I'll probably work just for a little bit this afternoon and then I will continue reading for the rest of the day or something. I don't know.
You guys, I'm back. It is hours. It is actually 8:30 at night. I think the last time I updated you, it was 12 in the afternoon. I have been literally reading Indigo Ridge basically the entire day. I've taken breaks here and there, bouts of time and stuff like that, and so I'm not finished with the book yet, but I am 82% of the way in. I can actually probably finish the book tonight, but hopefully I can, okay? But literally, you guys, the book is doing so good. so well. I'm liking it so much, right? It's pretty quick paced and very entertaining. Like there's the romance, there's that mystery element, and obviously since it's a series, like you're kind of like getting this town built up to be able to see it played out in the later books, which is going to be nice. I'm just really enjoying this book, so I'm excited that there's more in the series to kind of like look forward to eventually. I'm really enjoying their relationship because they didn't like really put any pressure on it. So far, my thoughts on the book is that it kind of gives a little bit of everything, but I feel like I wish there was more one or the other, because like the mystery element, I feel like for most of the book was put on the back burner. And granted, with the way that the mystery element is like brought about in the book, like I guess I understand why, but like there's also like not a lot that focuses. It's so weird because I'm almost like, I feel like there's not a lot of focus on the romance, but basically the entire book is like their romance. But it's like there's no romance really happening because they're so lackadaisy about their relationship with each other and just so casual about it. Like they don't put any pressure on it, which I feel like makes the book work in the sense that it does. Like it doesn't feel like too much. And not that I'm not like feeling in connection to the characters, because I am enjoying myself, but I'm not saying like I love them or I love it, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I like am reading a book and I'm like, I am obsessed with both of these people, right? That's not how I'm feeling, but I'm having a good time, you know? Honestly, as of right now, there's enough of everything where it still keeps me engaged and entertained, because obviously, you know, like the mystery element will come back up. I'll be like, oh, okay, yes, no, I am invested in this because I do want to know what happens. And then I'm also like invested in their relationship because obviously it's a slow progression. I'm really liking that because they're kind of like, well, they didn't want to put any like label on it or anything. They really just wanted to make it chill, which I really liked because that worked for them. Like the characters as a whole, like, because they both didn't want to do anything serious. They both just wanted something casual. And then obviously the casualness turned into something like serious without them really realizing it, which is nice because obviously that's what worked for them and that's what made their relationship go in the book without any like problems and stuff, you know what I mean? There wasn't like any stupid conflicts within this or like any insecurities about the relationship type of thing, you know what I mean? So I really have enjoyed that aspect of the book. But like I said, I feel like you're not getting enough of either one. Like there's not enough mystery. And then again, the romance, like I said, is so lackadaisy that it like doesn't feel like there's a romance happening. You're kind of just like watching or seeing their life just like play out type of thing. But either way, I'm not mad. I'm actually thoroughly enjoying myself here. I'm getting to the good part of the book though, where like the mystery part is like unraveling in a sense. So yeah. It is 9 o'clock. I'm going to go take a shower and then I'm going to read for the rest of the night. Good morning, you guys. It is officially the next day and officially Sunday, which means that this is the last day for this week, this vlog, because it's obviously how much I read in a week with a full-time job. I ended up finishing Indigo Ridge last night, which was really good. I had talked about it like literally right before I'd finished it. Basically, all my thoughts and feelings are exactly the same. Ending was honestly expected, but not expected. Like I had a feeling it was gonna go that way, but I wasn't really like looking for it because the mystery element of the book was like not like so scarce, but it was almost like this little subplot that I wasn't really like looking for it, even though like I knew something was up. I was like, something's up here. I ended up finishing Indigo Ridge as well, like before I went to bed, because I still had a little bit of time. Read a little bit of the Brothers Hawthorne too. So yesterday I ended up
reading 248 pages of Indigo Ridge, and then last night I ended up reading 26 pages of Brothers Hawthorne. And I'm obviously gonna pick a different book today because honestly, this book, she's putting me to sleep, okay? She is putting me to sleep. I don't know if I'm gonna like actually DNF it or if I'm gonna try, because I think I want to try listening to the audiobook first of this and then decide, because if the audiobook doesn't entertain me, then I'll probably just DNF it, because honestly, like, I am so bored, and like, it's just like, I don't know, just like I said earlier, like the way that they just like are, and kind of like, stop, like, you're actually cringy, like, just stop. Okay, so there's that. Next book that I do want to read obviously is off my summer TBR, and that is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I literally was like, oh, you know what, I'll start this book last night, because guess what, literally earlier this week, this book was on Kindle Unlimited. Guess what, it's not now? On Kindle Unlimited. I literally was like, oh, okay, so just do me like that right beforehand. Just right before I wanted to read this book, you're gonna take it off. That's so great. But it's fine because I physically have it, so I can read it. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna start this book today, and then obviously however much I finish of this book today will be the end of it. But yeah, I'm having a good time. Indigo Ridge was really good. Like, I'm super excited to continue the rest of that series because just like the overall vibes of it, I was like, oh no, like this is good. Like, this is a great like palate cleanser, but also like gives me enough like that it's not like just a traditional cowboy romance, but like has a bit of mystery in it, so it gives you like a whole bunch of, you know, other stuff as like a palate cleanser, but it doesn't feel like every traditional romance, you know? I'm very excited for this book. I love Abby Jimenez. I'm excited for this, as well as, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. There was something else I was gonna say about this, but I don't remember. I'm going on a walk with my friend, and then I'm gonna go to the pool later, so I'm gonna read this while I'm at the pool. Very excited. Guys, it is the next day, which means that this reading vlog is officially over. I feel like I'm always so dramatic about it, but anyways, like I said, it's Monday. Yesterday was our last day, like what I typically read in a week with a full-time job, and I've calculated all of the details, and I've read way more than usual this past week than I usually do, which is actually kind of crazy. Like, I'm actually like trying to figure out like the math in my head of like, how did I read so much this week? Because like, I don't ever read as much as I did. So like, before obviously I tell you the numbers, I don't know how that happened. So basically this is just like kind of like a realistic how much I read in a week with a full-time job. So let's go over some of the numbers of what I actually read this week. On Monday, I ended up reading 116 pages. I was reading Deep End. And then on Tuesday, I ended up reading 60 pages of Deep End. Wednesday, I read 164 pages of Deep End, and I listened to 45 pages of The Wife Between Us. Same thing for Thursday. I ended up reading 34 pages of Deep End and ended up finishing it that day. And then later that day, I ended up reading 55 pages of The Brothers Hawthorne. And then on Friday, switching between all my books, on Friday, I ended up reading 67 pages of The Brothers Hawthorne. I listened to 54 pages of The Wife Between Us, and then I ended up reading 77 pages of Indigo Ridge. Saturday, I read 248 pages of Indigo Ridge, and I finished it, and then I read 26 pages of The Brothers Hawthorne. And then on Sunday, which was yesterday, I ended up reading 202 pages of Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, which came to a grand total of 1,148 pages this week, which is crazy, you guys. Like, I never break the thousands when it comes to like reading in a week, because I just like, obviously, like I said, I work a full-time job, so like somehow managed read an astronomical amount. I don't know how it happened. I never break the thousands. I think the last time I read just over 800 pages, and then the time I did it before that, I did over 900 pages. Like, I've never broken the thousands, so it's kind of crazy. Let's go into some of my thoughts and feelings on the books that I read during this video. We're gonna start with Deep End. Obviously, I know I talked about the book a lot while did I actually? I have no idea. Anyways, I actually thoroughly enjoyed this book. I really did like both of the characters and the fact that there was a bit more plot to this than I originally thought. I know I did say that within this video, so I'm not going to talk too much about this book since I feel like talk about it a lot. And again, I know I said this, the one thing I really did not like about this book was the fact that Penelope was the main character. Like tell me why Penelope was the main character when literally she wasn't supposed to be. Literally all Scarlett talked about was Penelope this, Penelope that, Penelope this. And like, I understand from the insecurity, but I really wish that she was like taken out of the book because she just like wasn't necessary. Like all of that talk of her and all of like Scarlett's fears and insecurities about Penelope not that they didn't make sense, but like almost like irrelevant. I can understand for like the point of context, and for that point I enjoyed. Like at the beginning of the book, if we had gotten the context that way, at the end of the day, it just like was not necessary with how much Penelope was talked about in this book. But yeah, I was literally like looking up on TikTok inward dives, things that she kept talking about in this book, like diving wise. I was like, what is that? And then obviously I'm going down the rabbit hole of watching TikToks of people diving, and I'm like, couldn't be me. Actually couldn't be me. But either way, I really did end up liking this book, and I ended up giving this one, I think, a 3.75 stars. I would actually recommend, but this is like a hit or miss for anybody. Like I genuinely enjoyed it. Like the spice really wasn't as much as like people made it out to be. Like I said, only about 25% of this book was spice, I think. And that's a small percentage of what like the genre of this, or this like category of book that this is technically in, because technically this is like in the erotica genre, which is weird to me because like, I don't know how it all works in publishing, but I'm just saying there's not as much spice in here as people make it seem to be. But if you're not a fan of spice, then do not read this, I guess, because it's not the kind of spice that you'd probably like. So let's talk about these next two books here, because I didn't actually finish them in this video. The Wife Between Us so far is very interesting. I am very much enjoying the audiobook, and the back of the book kind of makes it seem like nothing is ever as it seems, and something wild's gonna come from this. Okay, so I'm actually excited to keep listening. The Brothers Hawthorne, you guys, I am actually so bored during this. Like I said in the video, I don't think I'm going to DNF it yet. I think I'm going to try the audiobook of this and see how I feel. And then if the audiobook is still not doing it for me, I am going to DNF it, because I am just so bored. Like I literally just like could not care. Like literally, like I said, why are they the way that they are? Like why? I understand this is a young adult novel and a young adult series, but like I don't remember them being this unbearable in the original trilogy. They're annoying is what I'm trying to say. They're annoying. I don't know why. They just are. So there's that. And then let's talk about Just for the Summer as well, because I didn't end up finishing it, and then I'll go on to talk about Indigo Ridge, which is another book I did finish in this video. Just for the Summer. I am very much enjoying this. I don't know what it is about it though. Like I know everybody last summer was giving this 5 stars. Like everybody was like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with this book. And don't get me wrong, I am enjoying it. And like, I am really liking the characters and their dynamic, and like can see like why, like, and can definitely see like the romance aspect and like how different of a romance this kind of is compared to like other ones that I've read. But I am not getting that, like that feeling, you know what I mean? Like that, like, oh my God, I'm obsessed feeling. Like I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong. I don't know what it is about this one that's like, maybe because it was so hyped up, and maybe like because in my head like I hyped it up so much, you know, like this is one of those books where maybe I just ended up doing that, and it just is not, it's just kind of falling a little bit more flat than I thought it would. But I am enjoying it. Like I really am liking it. I can't see this being lower than a 4 stars, honestly. Last night I didn't want to put it down. Like I didn't want to stop reading. I did want to keep going, but I'm not as like attached or in love with the characters as I have been with other books that I've read, which I was really kind of thinking I was going to get with these ones, but unfortunately I'm not right now. And then lastly, let's talk about Indigo Ridge, because this is a book I did actually end up finishing. I loved this book. This was such a great start to a like small town series that like you can kind of just pick up as a palate cleanser, a good mix of everything to keep you like entertained. Like it's definitely not like the most traditional romance. Obviously there's a bit of a mystery in there, and then there's like that small town aspect, but none of it felt like super cheesy. It all felt like very like thought out and very well planned, and I very much enjoyed that. Like I enjoyed the characters' relationship together and like their chemistry, and the way that they knew that at first everything was like a physical attraction, and then they really just started to enjoy spending their time together, and then also just like seeing the natural like play in the relationship of like how it progressed without like it making this like big ordeal. You know what I mean? Like I feel like in a lot of romances it's made a big ordeal from like making this shift from just physical to being more than just physical and being actually together and being in a relationship, where it's like this big like power struggle or this big like dynamic with that shift in most romances, where like that wasn't really a thing. Like it was just more of a natural flow of like, oh yeah, like we just really like being together, so like we're together. Like it's not like, it wasn't like this huge conversation. It was something that they mentioned. They were like, so like kind of like, what are we doing? Like we're not just casual, are we? And they're like, and you know, the other character was like, no. You know what I mean? Like there was no weird miscommunication, which I very much enjoyed. And then the mystery element of it definitely did take a little bit of a back burner, but kept you entertained. Like when it was popping up, like it was like, oh, okay, yes, like here's another little aspect of this story that like really kind of like makes you interested in all of it, in this entire town and everything like that. I highly recommend this book, and this, honestly, I haven't even read the rest of the series, but I'm honestly gonna say I recommend the series because this book as a whole like just made me excited to read the rest of the series. You know what I mean? And yeah, I ended up giving this one a 3.75. I felt like certain things were just like brushed over, or like there wasn't too much of the mystery, or like there wasn't like enough of everything where like it like gave me that like, oh my gosh feeling. It was just enough, you know, where it like kept me entertained the whole time. Hence the, you know, 3.75 stars, which I mean, I don't necessarily need to justify my rating because I go based purely off vibes for every single one of my books. But yeah, 3.75, highly enjoyed, and I think everybody should start this book because honestly, like I really liked it. That is it. That is every book that I ended up reading in this video, and my entire page count for this week, and kind of like what I read in a week is like. Actually not typical. I mean it is, because this was a normal work week for me, kind of. Like I worked full time, like I worked my normal hours-ish. That doesn't matter. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social medias, as well as subscribing to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.